Recording started.
Hey guys, this is Mark. Today we're looking at Volga. This is right at the start of the chapter. Anna is going down the slope to take her position so we can go out to the fishing village, but instead I've decided I'm going to go around the back way. Now, Colonel Miller has some cracks to make about how bad of a husband I am, but where I'm heading is to the strip of land that you later return from when you meet Duke out by the big oak tree. So I'll go down, and when I'm coming in this way, there aren't nearly as many of the lobster monsters, although there are a few, so you have to watch out. Now, I'm not going to really bother going into the airplane in this video, although you certainly can go in there and get the compass if you wish. We're going to slide through this camp, and you can loot all the normal goodies while you're here. Everything that would be there when you're coming out will also be there as you're coming in. Now, it's important to note that since I'm not going to join Anna, I'm not going to get in the boat over there where she is, and therefore I never trigger the cutscenes where the villagers all panic and run away. So we're coming up on the airplane. You can see the big oak tree where Duke is. There's some toxic gas here, and you want to have your gas mask on if you plan on taking your time going through here. But frankly, you ought to just run on through. There's not much to do in this particular area. There's a little cabin out here, which I'm not going to go into. There's a very small amount of loot that you can get for crafting. Again, not much point in doing it at this point unless you just really want to. There is a fire there you can light if you plan on coming back at night. Now, I'm doing this early. You can actually do this at any point in the chapter if you decide you want to go back to the fishing village later after you've already gone through and defeated the brigade that comes in there. So when you follow this strip of land as far as you can go, you're eventually going to come to a dead end of sorts where you have some spike palisades that keep you from going any further, as well as water. Now, one of the keys here during the game is a lot of times you can slip around the edge of the water on a lake without falling in, which I'm about to do now. The way the game works when you fall into the water is it has specific places where you can pull back out. And so if you're close to land, it will find the closest of those places and pull you out. So I fell in right here. I'm going to pull up back at those palisades, even though I wasn't really that close. So in just a minute, we're going to go as far out as we can, walking on these sticks, and jump to a specific area where the game is tricked into thinking you fell off the pier at the fishing village, and so it'll pull you back up on there. So we're going to go out this log here. We'll jump to the second log and then walk out kind of as far as you can. If you look out now, you'll see a little tire floating in the water right there. Don't try to jump to the houses. There's nothing you can grab hold of there, and it'll just put you back on the shore where you came from. But we're going to jump just to the right of that tire, really lined up more toward the corner of the pier. And if we jump there and hit the water, the game thinks that we actually fell in by the fishing pier, and so it's going to pull us up right there. Now, you can't go up those steps. There's an invisible wall. Sometimes when you pull out, it'll be in slow motion as you try to leave. Just keep jumping. If you spam jump and push forward, you'll walk down the sidewalk. Most of the time, you'll be able to move freely like I did. So now we're in the fishing village. The villagers are all standing around listening to Salantius' sermon. And he's exhorting them all to remember that technology is a sin, electricity is a sin. And if you decide to have a little fun with that and cut your flashlight on, they will definitely let you know that they don't appreciate it. So they rant and rave at you. Not much you can do here other than putting on a few lamps or looting the chests that are laying around, the little tackle boxes and whatnot. So I've gone out to the end of the pier here. This is going to be how to return. You want to go to the very edge and jump to that set of palisades. Now from here you can jump to the house if you want to, and in a minute I'll do some further videos that show what all you can do out here. My menu hung up for a moment. So we've got all of this. Those rocks are not solid. You will fall through them if you try to jump. Rather than go back, I'm going to go ahead and come out here so we can explore a little bit. This patch of land comes out to the point you can see where we came from. There's no good way to get back there. The logs you see, those are solid. Many of the other ones are not. And those weeds or rushes that you see out there have no land up under them you can walk on or go through. You can fall through this water. It is much deeper than it looks, so make sure you jump over it. You see the bridge in the distance. You can also fall through right there, actually. These are a bunch of decayed houses. There's no loot here. It's simply eye candy, but it's fun to get out and explore. Now the rock right here is solid up to a point. I usually just jump over it. And now we're out past the end gate of the fishing village. In the normal course of the game, you would take your boat through there and then a gate would pull up and lock you in. That gate is not up because we never triggered it. You can fall in the water at any point through here, and there's no place to pull up, and so you will end up getting eaten by a shrimp and put back at your last save point. So a bunch of abandoned huts. There's no treasure or loot here to take advantage of. These boats are not usable. You can go out on those logs there, but there's no place you can get to. You're not able to jump all the way to that last sunken house. And from here, if you get on that canoe, you can't make it all the way to that house either. There may be some hidden points that I haven't found, but I've tried jumping in the water all through there and have yet to find one. So now we're back at the fishing village, using a different save file. Again, same scenario, just rather than jump back, reverted to a previous save. Normally when you come through, this door is locked right here. But if you come early, you can actually go in and the villagers will be very disturbed, start defending themselves, and rush you back out. This is like their little tavern or restaurant where they all hang out and eat. But they will definitely excuse you from being there. Now, back at the end of the pier, this is where we initially started to go back on our exploring around. Come here, and this time, we're going to return back the way we came so we can resume the story normally. You have to be careful when you kind of go out of bounds like this, because sometimes you can't get back and then you're stuck having to go back to a previous save if you still have one. But in this case, we're going to turn around and just go back to the land we came from. So there's our fishing village. We're going to jump out, and I think that's probably shallow, but I've never tried to walk it. Now here, we want to aim just to the left of those boards sticking up, right where I'm aiming, toward that dead tree. And this time when we jump, the game, even though we're closer to the village, decides logically we should have been back at the strip of land where the palisade is, and so it pulls us back up here. So now we can go back the way we came, past that abandoned cabin, past the old oak tree, and past the jetliner,